place to promote the growth of Tigres in English through analysis, discussions, interviews, and more. Welcome to the Lautimes podcast. Welcome back to the Lautimes podcast, the only podcast on the planet talking about Tigres in English. Thank you for joining us tonight on another Tuesday as we talk about our beloved team, even when they frustrate us, even when the times aren't super great. We're here to talk about our men, talk about the women, all the things. So thank you for joining us. I'm Dennis. I'm the producer and tonight's host. And as always, happy to be joined by my friend down in Austin. You know him as @Tigres_English in the Twitterverse. My great friend, Luis. Lou Pop himself. How are you?
What's up, Dennis? Happy to be here, man. Hook 'em.
Hook 'em indeed. Hook 'em indeed. I'm going to throw up the new background that I just showed you. Yes, if you're watching live, that is correct. That's a tiger in a Tigres jersey eating flan. You're welcome. That's what we got tonight. We're going to be joined by Edgar as well here in a little bit. So stay tuned for that. Lots to get to tonight on the show as always. Before we get anywhere else, though, thank you for joining us once again. If you're on Twitter, X, whatever it's called nowadays, please do us a favor and repost and share this stream. I say this every week, but I especially mean that tonight because there has been some issues with our site that we record on StreamYard and live streams like getting translated over to Twitter. So please do us a favor and click on the profile of the Lautimes account and share the stream from there. Share it with other people because that's how people on Twitter are going to be able to know about this because it's not showing up as a tweet. I don't know when this bug is going to get fixed, but it would help us a lot if you could share it. And obviously, if you're on YouTube, you can share it the way that you usually do over there as well. Don't forget to subscribe and follow if you haven't already. And if you're listening on podcast later, thank you as well. Subscribe and follow on Spotify and Apple. And let us know your thoughts about this show in the comments and in the review. And if you're joining us live, come hang out in the chat. As always, we had a great chat week last week during our live stream, our watch along during the Forge match. I'd like for that energy to come back out again. So please come join us in the chat if you're watching live. Okay, well, Edgar prepared another great outline for us, but he's not here yet, so I'm going to read hopefully just this first point of the outline tonight, talking about a very unfortunate result on Sunday. We're going to kick things off with the Cruz Azul versus Tigres recap, as La Ley del Ex was the protagonist in Tigres' defeat against Cruz Azul on Sunday in match day number 6. While Guidos Incomparables stepped onto the pitch with a promising starting 11, it was not enough to secure 3 points in Puebla. An own goal from Joaquim and a goal from now former Tigres player Nico Ibanez, a.k.a. Lou's twin, sporting new colors, were the culprits of the loss. The team was able to get a goal back via Angel Correa in the 71st minute, but it was not enough, as we know. So, the question is, was it a night of bad luck, or are there reasons to start being a little concerned about the team? And that's how I'll kick it over to you, Lou.
I think it was a little bit of both. I think we had an unfortunate night in the sense that Joaquim had some pretty obvious errors that cost us. You can't hide the fact that it was a communication issue back there with Nahuel. Players not being on the same page and just not making the right decision in that circumstance, leading to that first goal. I thought Cruz Azul was dominating the match, but not overwhelming us in the sense that we weren't able to fight back or we couldn't compete. So, it was one of those where a team like this, you have to be at your best, and we just weren't for that night. I think even coaching wise, I felt like we were out coached. Cruz Azul sent a lot of numbers into the middle third and into the final third, and we just weren't able to match. We were in the positional battle. We lost a lot of those battles. So I think you could honestly say both things. We were unfortunate with the errors. The second one was also an error, playing out the back, just a mistake, bad pass that leads to a quick counter and then a quick score. So yeah, you could definitely argue both things, but in the end, I think we were outplayed, we were outmatched. There was a lot of things that we can learn from that game. I think it's one of those games that Guido Pizarro is going to go back and watch over and over again. There was some things we could tweak in that starting 11, and then it kind of goes to show how important Brunetta is to this squad and how important Romulus Vargas is to the squad as well. I think those two pieces, you almost always need them in the starting 11. I mentioned last week that this was going to be our first big test of the season, facing probably, in my opinion, the best squad in the league as far as personnel is concerned. And we didn't pass the test. We failed. But I think there's a lot to learn, and I think this is a team that we are likely going to see again in Liguilla. So it's a good preparation. I'd rather lose now and save our best for Liguilla.
You know what? This kind of reminded me some of the America game from last season, right? Where you kind of have this early season test against a big side. Another penalty for LAFC, by the way. Um, Against a big side, you don't necessarily pass it, but the team improves as the season goes along. This season, it's a little bit different. You're already coming off like, or you're building on a better foundation based off the fact that you just made the final um, last season, and the squad has gotten better. There has been some improvements. Some of the dead weight has been let go. So I I was frustrated at like some of the things that happened in the game, but I'm not particularly concerned about the long term aspect just yet. It is a little bit concerning, like our place in the table per se, because we have dropped probably more points than we should have at this point. Um, this result to me doesn't seem as bad as it could have been. Or let me rephrase that. This result would not seem as bad had we not lost to Pumas, right? Like it feels worse because we somehow let Pumas beat us at home, right? Like that's kind of the you already lost a fair amount of points to begin the year. Not great to lose another 3, right? Or to not even get 1 on the road. So that's a little bit frustrating. I appreciated the changes in the lineup from Guido. It didn't necessarily work, but I'm not like mad at it per se. Like we'll talk about some players in a second, but I mean it is what it is. I I I like that he went with something different. Um, little bits of changes here and there. The decision to bench Brunetta after what happened midweek in the Conca game was real interesting, and we can talk about him here in a second as well. But on initial thought, again, it's annoying per se, especially considering how the game happened. Um, that Joaquin goal is really frustrating because he knows better. Um, I
And he's
understand that.
made it a habit of doing it now,
Yeah, and I understand
unfortunately, in big
that
games.
that Nahuel also had a role to play in that. Like there was some miscommunication there, but Joaquin knows better. Like he just knows better. I'm pinning that personally more on him than on Noel. Um, the second one, I mean, they had a nice little like pass sequence there to kind of open things up, but as you mentioned in the chat in the big group thread the other night, like Dita should not have a shot in our box. Like that's a center back getting a shot in our box. It's just annoying. And then obviously, the person getting the rebound is a guy who we just transferred over to that team last week or 2 weeks ago, and that's really annoying. That's probably the easiest goal he might ever score in a Cruz Azul shirt, to be honest with you, because it was essentially a tap in. But um, it's annoying. I thought the second half, like once we got down, like there was some fight um, from the team, like Correa obviously scoring. That was a big indicator. So we weren't like completely out of it, but again, it's just one of those games where you just kind of have to shrug your shoulders and be like, it is what it is. Hopefully, you, like you said, you just take this loss now and continue to build on it as the season goes on. You try to get better from that frustration.
Yeah, having the benefit of looking back at the game and kind of analyzing it changes the opinion a little bit on the starting 11. But when I first saw the starting 11, I thought, oh man, this is a balanced lineup. We're solid defensively, but we also have, you know, players that can attack. So it felt right as soon as I saw it. And I'm with you. I think Brunetta needed the time to sit on the bench and kind of just get his head right. He looked desperate and anxious and sad after that Forge game. So I think it was the right thing to sit him. But now, looking back at this game and analyzing it, I think maybe Guido could have gone with a 4-1-4-1, perhaps. And I think in a game like this, you have to either pick between Cesar Araujo or Gorriarán. I think having both of them on the pitch when you're playing a Cruz Azul side that has so many numbers, so many attacking pieces, I think you have to counteract that with attacking of your own, right? And so you can't leave Brunetta. Like, if Liguilla were to come around, I think Pizarro learns from that and says, no, I have to have Brunetta on the pitch. And then I think something that he could have done on the back line, perhaps to get these guys a little more in sync, is maybe pull Oroña, even though Oroña had a good game, but you could have started Angulo as a left fullback,
Sure, yeah.
and then kind of maybe give that defense, that back line, a little more defensive structure. But like I said, when I first saw it, I wasn't hating it. And Loroña is looking better and better at that left fullback spot. So much so that Osvaldo Rodriguez is not even getting time anymore. So I think it's one of those games where we learned a few things and also got some players kind of playing up to their potential. So I'm not hating the result. I think it's a road game against, like I said, probably the best team in the league as far as personnel is concerned.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it in that way, but I like what you mentioned about the midfield with Gorri and Araujo. To me, they're very similar players, and having both of them at the same time, because they're kind of more number eights, both of them. I feel like Araujo's a little bit more of a six than an eight, but they're both kind of box to box in some ways, or can be. And I kind of feel like you're right. Like the balance needed to be a little bit better. Um, maybe having Brunetta. I think down the line, if you play this matchup again in Liguilla, like you mentioned, I would be stunned if that same midfield happens again. Like I would imagine Guido would probably roll with Romulo, uh, one of Gorri or Araujo, and then Brunetta plays as the 10 and Correa switches out to the wing. That would be what I would guess would happen in a future scenario, but obviously for personnel reasons, I understand why it happened today, or not today, a couple of days ago. I didn't mind Araujo starting. Did he have a great game? Not really, but also I don't love bringing in new signings and having them start on the road. Like just start them at home, dog. You know what I
On the
mean?
road and at altitude, which is a
Yeah.
big issue for guys who he's been playing at Orlando City this whole time.
And he's not
You
really
know,
fit yet. Like he
yeah.
he played 60 minutes, which like that in itself I think is impressive because he hasn't played since October consistently, right? So I don't know. Like looking back on it, hindsight's 2020, obviously, but
It's just a big load, man. I mean, think
yeah,
about who Cruz Azul brings into that midfield, into that middle third. You're talking about Palavecino, Paradela, Charlie Rodriguez, Rotondi joins in on there. So you're having a guy who, like you said, hasn't played a ton since October on at altitude on the road, trying to cover that much space and that many players. It's tough, dude. It's a tough ask. So I think to me, if you were mentioning how you would move maybe Correa off to the wing a little bit slightly or Bruneta, but to me, I think you go with a 4-1-4-1 and you keep your wingers. Um,
mm,
just because
sure,
I like the way this Tigres team looks when you play with your wingers, especially when Flores is hot and Lainez is
sure,
hot.
yeah,
It's kind of hard to beat that, man. So at that point now you've got Flores, Correa, Bruneta, Lainez, and one holding mid. And that, dude, that kind of makes the opposing players have to work a lot more.
right. Now the other thing too, though, if we play them in Liga, is Linus going to be a part of the equation? Probably not at this point because of the World Cup
The World
situation.
Cup.
So maybe by default you have to have Correa like play out more towards the wing because do you want
Yeah,
Ociel Herrera there after with the season he's having right now? No.
exactly. Yeah, if you can't get one of those guys to step up and be big like either Chicha or Ozzy Herrera, then I think Pizarro's hands are tied. You're not going to be able to do much there.
Right. One thing I will say about the game that was surprising was the fact that Buffalo Aguirre did not get a yellow card. That dude was fouling out the Wazowski, and I'm stunned that he did not get any sort of card.
And that's what I was telling you about before he came and we were kind of analyzing his game. And that's what I was telling you that makes him so much different than Nico. He's nasty, dude. Let's just say how it is. He's nasty and he gets in under people's skin because he does a lot of stuff that borderline is kind of dirty. The goalkeeper kicks it off, right? And he comes in and still swipes at him, right? Or still bumps him and he does that at every play with the fullbacks, with the center backs, with the goalkeeper, everybody, dude. Nobody's safe. And it's the sort of stuff that forces errors, forces goalkeepers, center backs to play quicker than they want to because they know he's coming and he's gonna hit. So you start kind of getting into people's minds. So it's awesome to see. And when you are that type of player, a lot of times the refs will let you slide because they know
Right.
that's just how he plays. You know, and so like if Nico had been doing that this last game, for example, he would have picked up a yellow because they're like, nah, he doesn't do that. He doesn't play like that. So it's he kind of gets the benefit of the doubt a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally I like it because the way that he presses and the way that he attacks center backs is something that he's not the greatest striker that's ever come to Tigres, right? But for this iteration of it, it kind of makes sense from like where the squad is and what the squad needs. Like his pressing ability desperately needed because are you really going to rely on 40-year-old APG to be doing that? No, even though he's trying his best, right? So he's got younger legs, obviously. Um, he's relentless. He's like you said, he's got that nasty to him. So I liked it. Um, Again, I'm surprised that he got away with it on Sunday, and he probably won't get away with it some other times. But I do appreciate what he's trying to do, like individually, and how he's trying to contribute. And I think it helps the team, even though it didn't necessarily amount to anything on Sunday. I see the vision with him now, and I think that for this squad, it makes a lot of sense.
And that's another reason why I give Pizarro a pass on this is the fact that he's incorporated a few more pieces that really haven't played that much with the squad. Right? They're just barely integrating. They're barely building chemistry. And even Loroña, for example, he's practiced a ton with the squad, obviously, but playing time he's had very little in
Well, you could
official
tell he
games.
practiced with the squad with that assist that he had. Good grief.
Yeah,
That was a fire pass to
yeah,
lead
man, that
to
was
lead
nice.
Correa in. Good grief.
Anytime you can get a fullback to do something like that, bro, it's just cherry on top.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, since you're his twin, you got to talk about Nico's goal. Uh were you annoyed? Did you see it coming? Uh just thoughts on his celebration. Maybe we can even talk about the interview that he just had with Tulene that's coming out
Oh,
tonight. Um, that apparently the directiva once again did not handle things well. Give us your
yeah.
your Nico take here.
Pre-game, I didn't think he would score. I thought he would struggle quite a bit against Joaquim and the other center back that would play there. But once they got the first score in, then I felt like, yeah, I think they're gonna get another one. After that, after they scored their first one, the team kind of got a little unsettled and unorganized. And after that, I felt like, yeah, he's gonna score. And I mean, it wasn't a great one, right? It was like you said earlier, it was just something
Tap
he could
in.
tap it in, right? Anybody could have scored that. And to be fair, I'm not mad that he celebrated. I think he's got a lot of built up frustration and just I think he needed it for himself. I don't take it personal as far as like, oh, he's celebrating against us or rubbing it in or anything like that. I just feel like he's had a really bad couple last 2 years, and I think that's just him, letting it all out. So, nah, not a big issue. I know some fans got a little upset. I don't really care. Um, Let him do whatever. He doesn't. He's not in our team anymore. And if we don't want him celebrating, then let's not let him score.
Right.
That's my take on that. As far as his comments on TV, I know a lot of fans are kind of ripping him for that, and I don't necessarily like the comments, but I don't also discredit what he's saying. This isn't the first dude that says communication between the front office and me has not been great.
I mean, look
That's
at
not
what
the
happened with Aquino, like
bro. I
a
mean,
month ago, 2 months ago.
it goes back years, dude. Duca complained, Aquino complained, Siboldi complained, he has complained. So the saying where there's smoke, there's fire. I think there might be some truth to that.
Yeah,
I think the front office has failed as far as communicating, and I can't defend the front office. I mean, look at how they've been. They've been so quiet. Gerardo Torrado, when was the last time he had a press conference, and when was the last time he had a good press conference? The
bro. When
last
was the last time he
comment,
appeared in the world?
well, that's the thing. The last time he appeared and made a comment, it was about retiring Gignac, bro. It's like, dude, that's gonna be your comment. Like you can't. So yeah, it's like does the front office have communication issues? Yeah, they do. Do they need to fix it? I think so. We don't owe these players anything. Like we don't owe Nico anything. Like Nico failed at Tigres, he wasn't successful, and we were right to let him go. We needed to let him go, and I think deep down he knows that. He knows that we we had to part ways for our benefit, and to be honest, for his benefit too.
Right.
I think both teams, both parties benefited from this. But I also just can't say, "Oh, this is a bitter dude just trying to throw dirt in our name." No, I think there's a little bit of truth. I think the front office probably did fail him a little bit.
Yep.
And if anything, the only person that maybe talked to him was Pizarro. Because I noticed he didn't. He said the fans have been great, my teammates have been great, and really the only side that he blamed was the front office. So I think there's
Yep.
something there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like you said, it's not the first time, and at this rate, as long as the powers that be are still there, it may not be the last time. So it is funny though that Vladi Garcia like immediately like quote tweeted the initial video that got posted earlier and was like, "Okay, well this guy didn't do like basically anything. He like flamed Nico," which I mean, there's a truth to that too, because
Yeah, yeah,
like yeah, like he's right. Like there can be both things can be true in this situation, right? Like the front office has had this history. It's a bad trend. It honestly needs to stop. But also in this situation, it's a little bit more justified because the guy, as Vladi correctly pointed out in his tweet, scored 20 some odd goals in 3 years. Like
Yeah.
that's not good for a striker, especially at Tigres, right? Like that's not what you want, especially for the amount of money that we paid for him. So
Yeah, and I think players need to realize that there's a time and place for everything. And sometimes it's not in your best interest to talk, right? Uh,
so soon too, like not even a
yeah,
week.
it's just like, dude, wait a couple seasons, and then if it comes up, then go ahead and say it. But you kind of look a little bitter, you look a little ungrateful, right? And then you rub the fan base the wrong way. So, I mean, I didn't like the comments, but at the same time, I'm not going to be the guy that says, "Oh, he's a liar." I
Right.
don't think he's lying. I
Yeah.
think there's a little bit of truth in there in that
Yeah.
comment.
Last thing about the game, real quick. You a little surprised that Gignac didn't step on the field?
No, especially now that we're kind of getting reports that he's been having some issues. Like he's struggling with a little bit of an injury, and I think today he didn't practice or something like that. I was reading. So it kind of makes sense that maybe he's carrying something and perhaps they wanted to save him. And like I said, altitude, bro, it's just tough.
He did play in
It's
the friendly today that they played though.
oh he did?
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
pictures of him running around.
I don't know when I read that he was like carrying a little bit of an injury. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before that, but yeah, it might have been yesterday. So I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that to try to make Gignac run all over the pitch at his age is just not.
And at altitude.
Yeah, it's just not great. And it's Cruz Azul is a very, very demanding game for us.
Yeah.
Their center backs are physical. They've got wing backs that cover the entire pitch. There's just a lot of movement, bro. And to ask a 40-year-old guy to go out there and do it, it's just tough.
Yeah. And I think I kind of understand what the team might be doing. It's like trying to have him peak and play at his best and be the most fit possible for the end of the season for Liga for what will probably be his last hurrah, right? Like
Yeah.
I think I can understand that. Even though I want to see him play as many times as possible before his contract expires, I understand kind of the plan that I feel like the team has for him as far as like making sure that he's not overworked and not at his best going into April and May when we really need him. So
Yeah. And honestly, I would love to see him get a few more goals at Conca just to maybe have a shot at that record. I know it's tough because now we're getting into the tough teams, but I wouldn't mind him getting some minutes there too.
yeah, I'm with you. All right, moving on to our next thing, which actually I'm gonna let you vote, Lou. Do we stay on the men's side and talk about our next match on Friday, or do you want to talk about Las Amazonas real quick and then jump back to the men's side?
Let's talk about Las Amazonas real quick.
All right. So with Las Amazonas, a draw against Mazaflan, if you will. Not a loss, but not a victory for the girls last night as they drew 0-0 away in a stadium that was like basically empty and against a team that's not even going to exist in about 4 months. Many goals were scored in the first half, but they were all ruled for offsides. It was straight struggle bus from there. Pedro Losas Amazonas seemed to lack creativity and struggled against a team that stepped up their game, especially towards the end when their goalkeeper got sent off and they had to put a literal position player in a goal. The same question that we asked for the men is the same question that we asked for the women today. A night of bad luck, or are there reasons to be concerned? I think the answer that you're going to give me, I know what your answer is going to be, and I know it's going to be different than what you said about the men's team.
Yeah, I mean, if this was a one-off, I would say don't worry about it. But I think we're starting to carry quite a few games now where the team looks dysfunctional. Very little imagination and creativity in the final third. What really worries me is our passing efficiency. I'm seeing players that can't connect passes that are like under 20 yards. Sometimes it'll be a 10, 15-yard pass, very easy to make, and they're not making it. Um, to me, like I'm seeing, for example, Alexia Delgado missing passes that she normally makes, which tells me that's it's not a technical issue. It's she's perfectly capable of making those passes, but it's more of a mental issue, right? Completely. I don't know if she feels pressured or I'm not sure what's going on, but that's a player that's really hurting us right now because every time she touches the ball and she can't connect a pass, that's a counter. That's getting our team at like messing up our team shape. And then honestly, what I'm seeing from Pedro Losa, our manager, is concerning. I'll give him a slight pass for that starting 11. I know that he needs to manage minutes. I know that he needs to rest some players due to the load, but I can't give him a pass for the subs last night. I mean, it's horrendous, bro. We ended the game with three holding midfielders. La Chata Hernandez, Alexia Delgado, and Ilana Izquierdo. Three holding mids when you're playing a team that basically put nine players in their initial third and that's defending in a low block almost the entire 90. Why do you need three holding mids? It just tells me he's not reading the game well. He's not understanding. Um, you're deep into the game. You're in the 60th minute, and you're subbing out attacking players that you need. For example, why did Corginali get subbed out? Why did Thembi get subbed out? It just doesn't make any sense when you need to score, right? So you could easily get rid of your fullback, a fullback. You could easily get rid of a holding mid, and fortify or the number of players that you're putting into the final third. So to me, it's very worrisome, and just the effort, the attitude of the players. It just seems like I mentioned last week that Pedro Losa's body language was off, and it kind of leads me to believe that perhaps he's kind of lost the locker room. Perhaps the players are not fully in bought in with his system, and that's concerning. Not to mention the fact that now we continue to drop points against really weak opponents, and we're very far from the top of the standings, which is going to hurt us quite a bit when it comes to Liguilla. I think at this point there isn't much of a way where we can finish top three. I mean, it would take a lot of effort, and you're asking a lot, especially the way we're playing right now.
Right. I'm with you. I didn't mind the lineup. I actually was really excited about Cortinelli playing as a lone striker because we haven't seen that in a minute, and I thought, oh, that'd be good to see how she does with Thembi um and with Dillery. Um and obviously Ordonez was solid when she came on. Caused a lot of havoc. Should have had a goal, to be honest with you. Like missed a clear sitter like late in the game. Um Maria though was not super effective. I'll give her a pass though. She's coming back from a
Yeah,
little bit of an injury layoff, and I don't want to give her too much slack. But you're right. Like, how the heck did La Chata come on when really you needed somebody like a Mia Villalpando to come
yeah,
in and create from the wing and be direct? We really needed that, and the fact that that didn't happen last night was really concerning. Um, we had a couple chances, especially towards the end when their goalie got sent off. That one set piece play that we had two clear cut chances in the span of like 3 seconds. That was kind of a bummer. Um, but yeah, the results are not going our way. Obviously, coming off of a win at home a few days prior, um, a pretty comfortable win. Shocked not even Tati was subbed in, says Streetker. Yeah. Um, just really dumb, really dumb subs, to be
Yeah,
honest. Um, and you can't drop too many points, even at this early-ish stage of the season. Like you don't want to put yourself in a hole, and I don't even think this team is necessarily dealing with like a championship hangover because it's not like they had a huge layoff in between the end of the season and the start of this one. Like, yeah, it was a little bit longer than the men, but you also brought in good quality players to reinforce the squad, and they've contributed positively to their start of their Tigres career so far. Like Nacimiento has been pretty solid for the most part. Has she been like amazing, amazing? I don't know about that, but like her and Emma Watson have contributed pretty mightily so far. Delgadillo has contributed uh pretty well. Although I will say last night she didn't have a good game, and
no,
honestly, the last like 3 games that she's played, she's kind of fallen off a cliff, and that to me is also a concern because she provides a lot of value to the team with her versatility, with her positional, uh, you know, versatility. The fact that she can play as a winger, as a midfielder, as even a false nine, as a right back, like she can kind of go anywhere on the field and she can do most things well. She has not played well the last 3 games, especially in this game that we just played last night and then the home loss to Juarez. Like she had 2 really rough performances, and I think there is a little bit of concern there. Um, and also a little bit of concern with that Betty said as well. She has not had the best of seasons so far. Um, boy, do we miss Anika Rodriguez.
oh
Boy, do we
yes,
miss her. Holy moly. Um, so hopefully she comes back soon. Um, yeah, I mean it's annoying. It's really annoying because that Mazatlan team is bad, like really, really bad. And like I said, they're literally not going to exist at the end
yeah,
of the season. So that might be one of the worst results, honestly, like in the team's history. Even though it's not a loss, like it's up there, man. Like that's not a good
yeah,
result.
yeah. I mean, the only one that I can think of that was worse than that one is the loss against Rayadas, obviously, after holding that lead at halftime and then we blew it. But I mean, there's very little that you can say that's positive in this game. I just keep going back to the subs, man. I don't understand when you had, like you said, Mia Villalpando, you had Mane Gonzalez on the bench, you had
Who?
Ta-
Okay, can we talk about
Tatiana
her?
Flores.
I feel bad for her because she's had a good start to the year, and I don't think she's getting enough playing time, especially when you think about some of the other girls who have been struggling. Like, I feel like she deserves to be
Who
a
are you
starter.
referencing?
I think that she should start over Ev, at least for the
Who?
time being.
Which player?
Mane.
Mane. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I agree. I agree. That's another thing that I've been harping on for the last few weeks in regards to Pedro Losa is that in Anika's absence, he hasn't been able to settle on fullbacks. It's been a carousel ride right through there, right? You played Yves Perisset, you played Mane, you've played Mayra Delgadillo. So he's not comfortable whoever's playing there, and so ultimately, I think you're gonna have to end up just waiting for Anika to come back.
yeah.
Another player that I feel like I'm gonna contradict myself, but I have to say it is Stephanie Mayor, man. I feel like we've missed her in that midfield.
Miss her leadership.
Leadership. It's a player that can dribble out of situations, that can string passes together, something that Delgadillo has struggled mightily with these last 3 weeks. And so I think that's a player that as soon as she's healthy again, you're gonna have to plug her back in.
Hermoso last night too,
Yeah,
as Streaker saying, like
I,
big
I
miss.
that's another one. I complain a lot about Hermoso because of her lack of pace, but that's a player that can distribute the ball really well. and put herself in situations where she can score.
Right.
So yeah, we're missing her a lot.
Next game for the girls is Friday, a road visit against Pumitas. Friday night at 6. That's strange that we're playing there on a Friday. We're usually there on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's gonna be. You say Pumitas, bro, but that's a team that's ahead of us in the
They
standings,
are. They are. They've
and they're
had a good
playing.
season.
They're playing much better. So that expect another test, and if we play like we played against Mazatlan, watch out. It could be another tie or loss if we're not careful. So we'll see. We'll see how that ends up going. That's also in
Oh,
Mexico
no, they're
City.
behind us. They're behind us by a
They're
point.
behind us?
Yeah,
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking they were ahead.
just by a point though.
Okay.
But it's a big game because you have 3 weeks off or 2 weeks off until the next game after this one. So you gotta make up some ground in the standings, big time.
And hopefully the break will help us get our head right again. I feel like a lot of our problems are mental. When you start to struggle, a lot of times you lose your imagination, right? You lose your edge. You lose your will to attack. And so sometimes you need that break to kind of get yourself right again.
Yeah, we need some better health fortune too. So hopefully those 2 weeks will kind of give everybody a chance to recover and have a healthier squad when we come back in the middle of March. So
And I think Pedro Losa, he's had some bad energy, and I think he's hopefully one that also could use the break to kind of get himself back in the
yeah,
right
bro,
set
go
of.
back to Spain for like a week and
Yeah,
go.
just take a break, relax. I think he's too wound up. I think he's stressed out, and I think he's not happy with the way the team's playing. So I think he feels the pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Tune in. Hopefully, we can tune in actually on Friday. Watching yesterday's game was a struggle. Um,
Late game,
Late
and
game,
then that bad.
no real link. Uh, Had to go through the depths of the internet to find something.
Yeah, dude, the league desperately needs to do something to unify these games and be able to just watch them on one streaming app.
Yeah, I imagine Pumas will be on because they're a Tudena team, right?
Yeah,
So I imagine that
Fix or
we'll
something.
probably play on VIX, which that's better than nothing. That's better than that's better than what we had to do last night.
Yeah,
Even though
man, I'll even take the league's official YouTube page. That's also okay with me. But it's just as long as I can find it without having to find some bootleg links.
exactly, exactly. Disclaimer: we are not encouraging looking at bootleg links. Full disclaimer.
Hey, look, dude, we wouldn't use the bootleg links if they provided us a way to watch these games here in
Yeah,
the
I know.
States, bro.
I
Come
know.
on.
I know. But we are not encouraging the action.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, moving back to the men's side with a match on Friday. You know what that means?
Viernes
What?
Botanero.
Yes, sir. With another edition of it against fifth place Pachuca, and another match is going to start at 7 on Friday, which is a little annoying. Should be a 9 o'clock game, but whatever. This match will be key in allowing Tigres to get an opportunity to climb closer to the top of the table and make up for some lost ground. What are the ingredients to a successful recipe for Guido's game plan? So let's talk about a potential lineup. Obviously, no midweek game this week, so the boys have had some bit of rest. Although they did play that random friendly today against, I don't even know what team they played.
That was a little weird, bro. Not
Like,
sure why there was a need to scrimmage.
right, exactly. I mean, I guess they're trying to keep guys in the rhythm of playing twice a week,
Maybe
but
so.
I don't know. It is what it is. Okay, so let's guess the lineup. Do we know? First of all, what's the deal with Romulo? Do we know what's going on with him?
Nothing official has been said. Just they said he's carrying an injury, but that's about it. And I don't think it was officially from the Tigres page, right?
Yeah, and I haven't seen too much reporting on it either. So let's assume, I don't know. I want to assume that he's healthy just for this exercise. So let's say that the starting lineup will be some combination of Jesus Garza, Loroña, Joaquim. I'm gonna say Angulo personally. I'd like to see Angulo back at center back. Um, in midfield, I would like Romulo, and personally, I would like Araujo just to give him a start at home. But I think it's probably gonna be Gorri if I had to guess. Um, I imagine Brunetta slots back in. Uh, but then you have a winger conundrum. Personally, I think for this game, I kind of like the idea of Correa playing false nine. So give me Lainez and Flores with Brunetta in the 10 and Correa as the 9.
I'm gonna go 4-1-4-1, bro. I'm gonna go Nahuel, Angulo at left fullback. If Romulo can go, then I'm gonna go Joaquim, Joarg, Garza, and then I'm gonna do Cesar Araujo as the lone holding mid, Brunetta and Correa as your central attacking mids, Flores as your left winger, Lainez as your right winger, and Buffalo up top.
Okay.
That's kind of my ideal lineup. Honestly, I wouldn't change too much. If we had all guys healthy, I think I would still keep that, except maybe pull Angulo and bring in Farfan if he was healthy at some point down the road.
Sure. Which boy I wish he is sooner than later. That'd be great. Um, Pachuca is coming into this game, as Edgar mentioned in the outline. They're coming into this game in fifth place. Mind you, there's a lot of teams in the 2 through 8 range, all separated by 3 points, with Chivas just running away with things right now, which we can talk about that later, but that's really interesting to me. Their last match, if I remember correctly, I think they won over the weekend. They beat Atlas 3-1 at home. Idrisi scored. Rondon is back with the team after his kind of a dud experience in Spain with Paunovic, which was hilarious.
Sorry, I
Which,
had to laugh, bro.
which colored me surprised. Paunovic and failure. Who would have seen that coming? Anyways,
Obviously, I don't watch the pod, bro.
no, not at all. Uh, drink every time we mention Pauno. It's like the same thing as drink every time we mention Quiñones
Ooh, hey.
or Rey. Um, so they're in decent form. Coming off that win, they also won the previous week too. They've won, I think, their last 2 games at least, and they're a team that usually give us a good game. You know, with some of their younger players, they have good quality attack, especially now that Rondon's back. It's a little bit more something that we know, something that's familiar. Last time they played at home, or that they played against us at home, they did not win because I was there at that game. Um, and this Tigres team needs to play desperate, honestly. Even though Pachuca's coming in having won their last few matches, this Tigres team needs to come in desperate and to put on a show at home. Even though you're playing on a Friday, need to get some points back, need to get some confidence back. I expect it to be a fun game. Pachuca games are always a little bit on the exciting end. But that's kind of how I feel. What do you think?
I'm with you, bro. This is going to be a fireworks type of game. I think it's going to be heavyweight boxing fight type of game where there's a lot of action on both ends. I think both teams have a lot of attacking power, and it's teams that are not afraid to go at each other. Aggressive coaches, they dominate. They both dominate their style. A lot of quality on the pitch. I think it's going to be a really exciting, fun match, high scoring. So I think it's gonna be a good Viernes Botanero match. The only thing that's not cool is the time. I think it needs to be prime time, like 9 p.m. would have been awesome. But really, really, really exciting matchup. Could be the matchup of the week, in my opinion.
Prediction time. Go ahead.
Man, give me a 3-2 us.
Okay. I'm gonna say
Yeah, I
three
think
one.
there'll be fireworks. Should be fun.
Correa goal. Give me a Linus goal and a Buffalo goal.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna go Flores, Buffalo, and Correa.
Okay. Nice. Threeger, what you got? I know you're in the chat. What you got, my boy? I said
Pre-
3-1.
prediction time.
Lou
Threeger.
said 3-2. While we wait for Threeger, little look ahead. Double header, but you're right. Double header, Botanero Friday. That's a tongue twister. Um, say that 5 times fast. Double header, Botanero Friday. See, I can't even do it. We got it 3-1. All right, I like that. So yeah, get your 2 screens out because I think the feminine match is an hour before the men's match. So put feminine on one screen before 7 and then get the men's side on the other screen. Because there's a lot of action going on Friday. Obviously a home game, so in all the usual spots. Estrella, Fox will probably be on either Amazonas 2-1. I like that. Thank you. Um, I'm going to say the same thing, actually. And either Telemundo or Peacock, depending on wherever they have it this week. I haven't looked at YouTube TV yet, to be honest. Little look ahead for the men's side after this game is a big matchup against America on the road next Saturday, the 28th at 9 p.m. And then you've got a flurry of matches right after that against Puebla at home, or Puebla on the road, sorry, and then Clásico Regio. It's coming up quick. I didn't realize it was that quick. The season's kind of flying by
What's
fast.
what's the date on the Clásico Regio again?
March 7th. Saturday, March 7th.
And we should be having what Conca also right after.
Yeah, it'll be right after it'll be right after the Clásico, the first leg, I'm pretty sure. So,
Very busy week. Most likely FC Cincinnati.
yes, they play tomorrow night, their first leg. So we'll keep an eye out on that. And if we end up playing Cincinnati, we'll probably end up recruiting our friends over at FC Cincinnati, our Cincy Talk Pod friends, to come back on the show. So be on the lookout for that should Cincinnati advance. But we'll find out more next week. Okay, last section of the pod. From the Vault is back. Thanks to Edgar. With 2 Pachuca games that he wanted to bring up. First one, Apertura 2007.
Ooh, that's going back some ways.
Tigres 3, Pachuca 2. With with El Tolo uh, Gallego at the helm. Um, the 3 goals were scored by. Can you guess?
Apertura 2007, Tolo Gallego. Cookie Silvera was already gone, wasn't he?
Yeah.
This is pre Gata Fernandez days. Man, you're really working my memory here. Carlos Adrián Morales.
Nope.
Okay. Chamagol. Was Chamagol in back then?
Uh, Remind me his real name.
Ah, this dude cleared out of my head. What was his first name? I forgot already. I'm not gonna remember. Slate. Slate.
uh, I'm just gonna give it to you because these are kind of hard. Sebastián Abreu,
Oh, I should have guessed that one. I was actually thinking about guessing that.
Jesus Chavez,
Okay.
and Saavedra.
Nice.
The other
Oh,
from the
three
vault.
three just reminded me. Sebastián González.
There we go. Yep. So it wasn't him. The other from the vault moment is another Pachuca game from Apertura 2011. A match that ended Tigres 5, Pachuca nil. I vaguely remember this game actually from my young lad days. Guess the goal scorers. Round 2.
Alan Pulido.
Nope.
Héctor Mancilla.
Yes, he had a hat trick.
Oh, wow. And we scored what? 5?
Uh huh.
Okay, so uh, Damián Álvarez,
Nope.
Daniliño,
Nope.
Jesús Dueñas,
Nope.
Manuel Viniegra.
Nope.
Okay, so that leaves out all the attackers. Lucas
No.
Lobos.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
How many did he score? 1 or 2?
Only just one because the other goal was a own goal
Oh, okay.
by Segundo Castillo.
All right. So Lucas Lobos and Mancilla. All right.
Yeah. I don't remember what time of year that was, but it was in the Apertura season that we won the championship in 2011.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, that's it. That's all the from the vault moments that Edgar put up. So you
That
did
was
better
cool,
on the
man.
second one. You did better on
That
the
was
second
cool.
match.
Well, it's because that time frame, bro, from really from '05 to '09,
A blur.
it I tend to kind of clear from the memory bank a lot of those memories. And the team after '05, the team started to go down. So like the highlight of '05 obviously was like the Aztecaso, right? And we still had good players, Julio Cesar Santos, a lot of decent players were still around. But that was kind of the beginning of the end where once '06 kicked in, the team started to. And so, yeah, there's like a lot of players that were coming in and leaving, and so there's not a lot of good memories. I tend to lock in the good memories. Notice how I went through the 2011 team pretty like fast, right? All the positions,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
but it's because it's like for example, like if you were to tell me, oh, the '03 team that reached the final, I could name off a lot of names because they were good teams. Like same thing with '01, right? Or even like the '98, '99 team. But man, like tell me about the '08 squad, like Apertura 2008.
Kikin.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like clear
Bunch of
that out, bro.
scrubs. Bunch of scrubs, bro. That's all it is. A bunch of scrubs. Okay, couple little nuggets here before we leave. Thoughts on the new originals line that dropped?
Too simple. Don't like the colors. I'm not loving it, bro. I'm not loving it. I know there was some fans that were liking it. I'm not a big fan of when they don't use our original colors. I felt like there was a little bit of Aguila yellow in there.
Yep. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Threeger. Since it's February, throwback to the Club World Cup. Yes, always. Always.
Dude, yeah. Great times, bro.
Always. More like a
Ulsan
Wilo line.
Hyundai, Palmeiras,
Our friends
Bayern.
at Ulsan Hyundai.
I uh I got showcased for a little article back then for the Ulsan
Oh, did
Hyundai
you?
Times, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And like a Libertadores, the Windsor and something Libertadores podcast. They had me do like a little audio clip for that for the Palmeiras game. It was good times back then, bro. A lot of met a lot of fans and made some friends, and it was
Nice.
cool too because I like Palmeiras, so I was like pretty like I knew the squad pretty well because like I watched a lot of Palmeiras.
Way back in the day. It feels
Way
like way
back.
back in the day, but it's only been 5 years. Off topic,
Six years.
didn't Libertadores send an open invite or something like that? I have no idea what you're talking about, big dog. No idea.
Well, there's been talks, right, because of Messi
Yeah.
and but I just don't know how advanced those negotiations or invitations are. But from what I was hearing, only two teams would possibly get invited from Liga MX.
Yeah, it's like the top team and then just a random one that they choose, which they're never going to choose us in that scenario, right? Like, we'd have to be the top standing team. They
Yeah,
should, but they're going to be
I
like, oh, let's
mean,
pick America.
we're the last finalist, bro.
That's what it should be, bro.
Hey,
Last
bro,
finals.
let, imagine if we were to make Libertadores final, bro, one more time.
Bro, again.
Again.
Can we actually win it this time, bro?
Bro, we would have to win it this time.
As long
The,
as it's not against
the
Pinche
pain was
River
so
Plate,
much
bro.
last time that we have to win it.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed.
If we ever get to Libertadores again, bro, we have to have that conversation about the final because we didn't have the pod back then, so there was a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that was on my chest that I didn't get off, and it's still right here, bro.
You got to let it out at some point. You
It's
got to have
still
it.
stored, bro, ready to come out at one point.
Oh,
So
man. Oh,
put
man.
that on the outline if we ever get to Libertadores.
Okay, bet. I love it. I love it. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick, obviously transfer season is over, but rumor season never ends. The Joveljic rumor continues to float out into the atmosphere. I don't know why, but the Jimenez rumor is back because it's getting pretty serious that he's going to leave Atleti in the summer, very similarly to how Correa left. However, there was some reporting that came out today that apparently him and his agent have been talking to Boca for about 3 months. So that's not great. He's picking the wrong blue and yellow team.
But did you hear what Merlo said later?
No.
Merlo said that there is no legs to that rumor.
I like that.
So we're back in contention.
We're back, baby. Hey, I think that's a strong chance of happening. I think Correa is playing agent and trying to do whatever he can to make sure his boy comes.
Go back to that Pello Maldonado interview, and Pello straight up asked him like, "Hey, you trying to recruit anybody now that you're over here?" And that's the name that he brought up, bro.
Yep. No
So
hesitation. No hesitation. So, what an addition he would be to the back line. Oh my goodness. That would
who do
be
you
great.
sit, bro, between the King and Zwarg?
Well, considering we don't have a foreign spot open anymore, does that mean you got to sell somebody? Because I think with the open foreign slot that Gignac leaves up when he retires, you use that on an attacker. So then you got to get rid of somebody to make room for Jimenez, hypothetically. Does that mean Joaquim goes to Brazil?
I think so.
I'm not trying to start anything, but I'm just saying it's
I think
there.
so, bro. I
The
think
the
so.
possibilities are there. I
You
think
can't get rid of Zwarg, bro. Zwarg has
no,
been
bro.
so valuable to this squad.
No, bro, you cannot. Cannot do that. Um but obviously it's February. Who knows where we're at with all that? Who knows what he's thinking? Long way to go between now and then. So keep your eyes peeled. Um, I think that's it. Am I missing anything?
No, I think we're good. I think we covered our bases.
Excellent. Well, we'll as always, we'll be back next week. Hopefully, Twitter will be fixed by then, and the stream will actually show up on the actual Low Times account. But we'll see about that. Next week, we'll recap everything that happens on Friday. We'll look ahead to the America match. Maybe I'll share my experience in LA
Oh, that'd
this
be great.
weekend. I'll talk about that. If you're curious about what I mean by that, then just tune in next week. I don't want to spoil it right now. So it
Keep
does.
keep a close eye on Miami in case we have to face them later.
Yeah, I got you. I am gonna roll up to that game in the black and green kit. I decided today I'm gonna take it with me.
Cause why? Cause it's the closest to LAFC you could find.
No, because I just want to wear that.
Okay, all right. In that scenario, who are you pulling for, LAFC or Miami?
Oh, good question. I don't know if I'm necessarily rooting for anybody, but I think Miami probably wins that game.
But I mean, at some point, you're watching the game and your feelings gravitate towards a team. I'm not saying you're a supporter. I'm just
Right,
saying,
sure.
which way do you start leaning as soon as you start watching that game? You're live in person.
Probably Miami because hopefully I can actually see Messi play for the first time in my life.
Okay, that's interesting. I thought maybe the fan base would sway you towards LAFC.
Maybe, maybe we'll see. Tune in next week to hear my
There you go.
first-hand
Yeah.
account. Tune in next week, and I'll talk about all my food experiences in the 6 hours that I will be in LA. AKA, we're probably just gonna go to In and Out after the game, but that's not a bad idea,
Go pick up some Korean, bro. Get some Korean
bro. It's
food while
either
you're
that or
there.
I'm gonna find some tacos, bro. Some real
Oh,
tacos.
that's not a
But
bad idea
but
either.
all the good taco spots that I've been looking at are like on the other side of town. It's like you're not close to LAX. I don't like that. But anyway, I'm just waffling at this point. Tune in next week to hear that, and tune in next week to hear us talk about what the show's about, which is Tigres. If you like what you heard, again, thanks for being here. Follow, subscribe, share, like, comment, do all the things. Leave a review, do all the things. Follow us on our Twitters here. They're up on the screen. Everything's in the show notes, in the episode description, all the things. Um, Thank you for joining us last week again on the live watch along. We got some good feedback on that. We got a little bit more traction as far as like subscribers and stuff goes and viewers. Um, the replay of that has gotten a fair amount of views too. So I think we're gonna have to do that again at some point. I don't know for what game, but I think we'll have to do that again at some point because that was a good time. I think we all enjoyed that. So until next Tuesday, when we come back again, have a great week. Arriba la U. Enjoy Friday, like we will, and we'll see you guys then. And I'll leave you guys with our background of the tiger eating flan. Goodbye.
Peace.